The full card of UFC 327 has just been announced, so I'm here to give an early reaction and little miniature breakdown of the entire card. Very small one because it is currently 12:15 on the East Coast, so I would like to sleep. So let's go over quickly some, just give like a little miniature breakdown, initial reaction to the in-fight announcements. Starting with this main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg for the vacant UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Um, First things I want to talk about really is just the fact that Pereira is vacating this title. I think that's pretty interesting. It sucks for Ankalaev, bro, because it's just out of the title picture now after zero defenses from Pereira. But yeah, man. Him vacating the title is pretty interesting because obviously he's gonna want to move up to heavyweight. So, him versus Gane is probably what I'm guessing would be. Hopefully, definitely for the interim heavyweight title. I wouldn't be totally surprised if the UFC literally just says fuck it, this guy's not fine soon, and we want to go forward with a big star at heavyweight division with Alex Pereira, and they just fucking strip Tom Aspinall. To a lot of backlash, I would imagine there would be a lot of backlash, especially for me. I would be very annoyed in that. I would make a separate video about that, but at the end of the day, what the fuck? Like, what are you gonna care? Like, they're not gonna care, bro. They're still gonna make a bunch of money for them, and they're gonna want to go ahead and do that, which I would just hate. I would just hate to see that for Tom Aspinall, but regardless, we have this fight happening in the main event of 327. Um, this is an interesting one, man. I think both fights make sense. I think both guys are worthy of competing for the title. Now, in terms of who I think will win this, hmm, this is tough, dude. I kind of want to lean towards Yuri Prochazka. Um, I just think, like, the way some of the fights that Ulberg has had, right, where he's winning by unanimous decision. He hasn't had really like those big breakout like performances, and when he did is against Dominic Reyes, which I think that win is about to age pretty poorly. We'll talk about that a bit later, but I just fancy Prohaska's chances. I think his striking is more elite. I think the pressure he'll apply to him will be a bit more elite. And I do see this fight, though, going the same way a lot of his other fights have gone, where, Ulberg has a strong start. He'll be doing a lot of kicking, which I think will disrupt Prohaska a lot. That is something that he seems to be, like, kind of thrown off by, which I think will be a big advantage for Ulberg, just to throw the kick from behind. But I think he'll start out strong, maybe not gas out as much as some of his other opponents have, but I think Prohaska, once we get to the third round, will really start putting the pressure on Ulberg, and I think that will and as soon as we kind of see him starting getting backed up, I think that's where Prohaska will truly take over and finally be able to get the win, probably by finish in like the third or fourth round, maybe. That's just initial prediction. That's off the top of my head. That's what I think. But this is a very good fight to make. I'm very excited to see this. And yeah, man. Me. I love Prohaska. He's in my fucking banner, dude. Like I gotta see him win the fucking belt, dude. I have to. So I'm pulling for Prohaska to win this for sure. Next up is a fight we knew was happening, but has been now bumped down to the co-main event status. It is Joshua Van versus Tetsuro Taira. It's a fight that makes sense to make. Van on a very good run. Taira is coming off his win against Brandon Moreno, which I always knew that whoever was next to beat Brandon Moreno would probably get a title shot. Not named Brandon Royval. And yeah, man, this fight just makes sense. I do have to back Joshua Van to win this initially. I just think his boxing will be so much better. And when we just gotta look at like MMA math, dude. Taira lost to Brandon Royval via split decision, and Joshua Van beat him by unanimous. So I think it just makes sense, But seriously though, I do rate the boxing of Van. I don't think Taira's striking defense is very good, hence why he lost to Royval, and was kind of like not looking the best against Moreno when they were fighting up until the round he got the win. So I'm gonna go with Van to win this and defend his title, and then I would actually kind of run. I would like to see Pantoja versus Kape be run for the number one contendership. You don't have to, I guess, but there's no point in holding up Kape any more than you already are. So like, you may as just fucking well, you know what I mean, dude? So yeah, but I think in terms of this fight, I think Van's gonna win this and defend the belts. Next, these belts are out of order, I will say, like on the Topology page. So I'm just gonna run through these as I see them. Up next, though, because I think this is probably what's kicking off the card, is Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Dude, this is fucking funny. I'm gonna go Johnny Walker to win this. I think this is a you know what. props to the UFC for their main card. They made it so it's like there will probably it'll be like UFC 322 where it'll just be a lot of finishes at the start, man. Like the undercard, like the main card feature bouts will be a lot of finishes, I think. So, and I think expecting this out of here, I'm gonna go with Johnny Walker to win. I just rate his performance against Minyang Zhang like that compared to Dominic Reyes against Carlos Ulberg, you know. And I know those are guys, those are obviously very fucking comparing apples to oranges here, but you know, Walker still has something to him, man. He still has some momentum. I know he got brutally like okay, either of these guys could win by knockout, genuinely, right? Like, you know, both guys are knocking out dudes. Both guys are getting knocked out, so it's a hard one to say. I just rate Johnny Walker right now based off this performance against Minyang Zhang compared to Reyes' last little run against guys it's not as good, man. You know, Krylov, Smith, and Jacoby, okay, but you know, Walker's losing to Ozdemir and fucking Ankalaev, you know, so I'm gonna back Walker because I think he's had the better competition. I mean, both guys, look at that, both guys share a win over Anthony Smith, so I'm gonna go with Walker to win this fight. This is a very fun matchup, though. I'm very excited to see this play out. This is definitely one that's worth like pay-per-view level, so I like seeing this. Up next, this supposedly isn't on the main card. This is supposed to be like the feature prelim bout. Very good one, especially compared to what the fuck we're about to get tomorrow. But here we have Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa is supposedly moving up to the light heavyweight division, and he now has to face this fucking killer, man, in Azamat Murzakanov, who, like, looking at his last few wins, has just been like a bunch of KO wins aside from a random decision win against Dustin Jacoby. This dude's just been knocking out everyone in front of him, man. Power jab, left hook, punches, ground and pound, like every single way you could think of, man. I don't necessarily think Paulo Costa's gonna get knocked out. It's just, you know, Kopylov. You can just piece him up because Kopylov doesn't really know what he's doing out there. This is even if like Paulo Costa even will fucking not pull out, which he probably will, honestly, but. Yeah, Murzakanov 83%. I'm leaning towards that too. I think Murzakanov has a pretty decent chance at winning this fight. He looked really good in his last fight with Rakic, man. He looked really good in that fight performance. Rakic didn't look so good, but like, dude, yeah, Murzakanov looked amazing. Paulo Costa did look good too. I think it is a good challenge for Murzakanov, and I do think it actually is kind of a step up in competition. So I am very interested to see how Murzakanov fight someone like Paulo Costa, who is just a bit more like savvy and veteran like that, who's just, you know, even though he's, yeah, I like the matchup. I do like the matchup a lot. I'm very curious to see how like either guy plans this out for them, but I'm gonna lean up Murzakanov first. Up next, this one's apparently the feature fucking bout of the night. Is Curtis Blaydes versus Josh Hockett. Yeah, I don't think it deserves to be the feature prelim bout, but I do like this matchup. You know, the heavyweight division is just in need of so much, man. They need so much in that fucking division. So like, why not, right? Blaydes isn't a guy the UFC really wants to put back in the title picture so quickly. They kind of want to give him some of the younger guys so he can still really prove himself. And I do think he will get to that level fighting and defeating someone like Josh Hockett. Obviously Josh Hockett is 2-0. Has he had 2 fights in the UFC yet? This was a Contender Series. This one was this was 3 months ago. Busy guy. I do appreciate the activity from Josh Hockett, really being able to keep his name in there, but to go from Denzel Freeman to Curtis Blaydes is nuts, man. That is an insane jump. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back on my work, because I said Denzel Freeman, I do rate his abilities, but I don't think that jump, like a jump in competition from Freeman to Blaydes, doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence in Josh Hockett's abilities. You know, I don't think Josh Hockett has the best gas tank, even though we've seen him fucking drain Freeman's really quickly. I think of that Contender Series performance and how badly he looked in moments like that, and I just kind of worry about someone like Curtis Blaydes for him and how he's going to do that pressure. Also, you got to look at these fucking height and reach differences, man. This is nuts. He's somehow, okay, Hockett already fights like a blob, and he's fucking walking around at 234, or not even walking around. Sorry, he weighed in at 234 compared to the 258 from Blades. Blades is a big dude, 6'4". He has fucking 7.5 reach advantage. I think that's gonna stop. He's gonna just be keeping that jab going. I think Hawkins probably gonna get hurt by a jab in this fight. Genuinely, I don't see like, you know, I just I see that. I foresee that happening. I'm gonna go Curtis Blades. I think he will win this fight. Up next, Beneil Dariush versus Manuel Torres. What the fuck? That's such a fucking crazy. You can't. Can you not just give this guy like a single wrestler? Man, this is fucked. This is a fucked up thing to do, Beneil. I can't believe you're taking this fight. He got laid out cold by like the weakest of BSD punches. He did beat Moicano. I will take that. And lost to two of the best lightweights in the fucking division right now. So I don't know, man. I just don't rate his chin. I just like off that, like I can't say I rate Beneil's chin. And you look at the run Torres is on. Dude, he literally beat mini Beneil Dariush, bro, by TKO. Like, what am I supposed to think this guy's chances are against that, man? He's gonna be 37 by the time this fight goes down. What, like, he beat Drew Dober by knockout. It's not easy to. He's knocking out people. It's not. He beat Chris Duncan. Look at these guys he's beaten, bro. Okay, Nicholas Moto, we didn't talk about that. These are impressive wins, and you know, these are impressive losses from Beneil. But like, come on, are we serious? Manuel Torres wins this fight easily, bro. Which sucks to say for Beneil, man, but that's what I mean. Like a lot of the main cards, this is gonna be a main card bout, and I think we're gonna get a lot of finishes. Like again, it's Beneil. We saw him on the 322 card getting fucking absolutely slimed out by fucking Benoit Saint Denis. So I'm going, Manuel Torres to win that. Tatiana Suarez versus Lupita Godinez. This is apparently the second fight on the card, which is crazy to see for the woman ranked second in the which fucking division is this? The strawweight division, but you know, it is what it is, man. I do rate Lupi. I don't. It's been 6 months since she fought. Wow. The Jessica Andrade performance was good. You know, Andrade is just kind of on the tail end of her big run, really. So it's not too much to say about it there. Obviously Suarez has lost to everyone that is, or beaten everyone that's not Weili Zhang. So, not too much to say about her performances. She looks great as always. And she does have a size advantage here, which I think will play a big factor into the wrestling ability. I'll probably lean Tatiana Suarez to win this, honestly. I don't, as much as I do rate Lupita Godinez. Lost to Mackenzie Dern and lost to Vera Jandiroba. Isn't that interesting? Lost to the two people that last fought for the strawweight title. That doesn't give me a lot of faith in you, Lupita. I'm gonna be honest. And just even if you do get past this fight and beat Suarez somehow, like get into that level and fighting for the title, I don't know. I think this fight should be for like the number one contender, the number one contendership though. So yeah, man. Also gonna be pulling. I'll be pulling for Lupita. She represented Vancouver. I like that. But I think Tatiana Suarez is gonna get the job done here. I will be tapped into the early prelims to watch this fight though. This one kind of intrigues me. This one also very much intrigues me. Cub Swanson versus Late Nandor. What the fuck? I can't believe he's back. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Cub Swanson versus coming off his win by KOTK over Billy Quarantillo. And fighting Nate Landwehr, who, you know, is still an exciting guy. A guy I love to see fight. You know, his fight with Yuho Choi was awesome, but wow, a loss to Morgan Charrier is not great. That is not a great loss. Dan Ige, yeah. Holy fuck. And, you know, this guy is basically only facing like the oldest dudes in the division, Cub Swanson. But still, what did the community think of this? Swanson 77%. I think I'll have to agree with this, man. This is such an awesome fight, though, man. I love this. This is like, God, dude, this is like a strike. Was it Strikeforce that Cub Swanson was in, or was he in WEC? I think he was in WEC. This reminds me of like one of those early, like, you know, late 2000s fights, you know what I mean, bro? I think we're going to see a lot of that in this fight here, which makes me very excited to see this fight, but I'm going to go with Cub Swanson to win this one. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown, also in the early prelims. The early prelims, that shows you how stacked this fucking card is, dude, because this is a fight that's going on the early prelims. Kevin Holland, I can't fucking pick you, dude. Like, no. You're gonna do some bullshit. Randy Brown, aside from this bomb theme loss, was on a very good run. People love this Nicholas Dalby win. You know, he lost to Brian Battle, which isn't a bad loss, and then he beat everyone else he was supposed to beat. He beat Muslim Salikov. That's not the Muslim Salikov I'm thinking of, is it? Wasn't he heavier? Is that right? Ah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, this fight is good. It's a good one. I'm probably gonna predict Randy Brown wins this by knockout. I just fucking Kevin Holland, dude, 33 years old. How are you only 33? You are the most washed person at this division, and you're 33. You're literally younger than Randy Brown. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm just going Randy Brown. This is an awesome fight to make though. I like this. Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. Dude, I love this fight. Bellator ass matchup. I love it. I kind of like this. This is why I fucking like actually like the UFC matchmaking sometimes, because they'll just fucking make fights like this, you know, where it's like, dude, you want to see a fight from WEC, you want to see a fight from Bellator. This is a Bellator ass fight, dude, and this excites me. You know, this gets me hyped into their. This gets me hyped to watch the earlier fights. How heavily can I rate the abilities of Aaron Pico? He's got a lot of hype. But, like, he's fought once in the last 2 years and was fucking brutally knocked out. Meanwhile, he's only fought twice. He's beaten Dan Ige, though. I'm gonna have to go Pitbull, man. Okay, I guess I have some tape study to do, bro. Maybe it's just the stylistic matchup. Pico probably does push a better pace and will be more active on the feet. I don't really see Pitbull, you know, being the one to initiate the sequences and kind of push Pico back. And if he does, I do see Pico being able to have a grappling advantage on him. So I could see that kind of thing. But, you know, Pico, I worry about the boxing skills, and I just think Pitbull has way better boxing. I think he's going to be better in the combination strikes and, you know, the exchanges that they have. Just, you know, so just in my mind, that's how I see this going, right? So I'm going to say Pitbull for now. We'll revisit this when it actually comes time for this weekend. We also have Martins Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovic. I like this matchup. I do. I think this is a good opportunity for Esteban Ribovic. Obviously, this is kind of a guy UFC's been pretty high on. I feel like they should have been a little bit more high on him, but he's got a big opportunity here. This is also one of prelims. You know, Gamrot's coming off his loss to Oliveira and Dan Hooker, beating Ludwig Klein in an absolute banger. I think this fight will be fun, man. And I think a win here. I don't know who wins this, dude. I actually genuinely don't. I couldn't tell you anything about. What do they say? Gamrot 59%, 100% by decision. That's interesting. I'll probably back Gamrot for the moment. He's just got more experience. He's just fought higher levels of talent. You know, like, these aren't the worst, like, wins in the world. McKinney and Zellhuber and Elvis Brenner is kind of but I could see the thinking for Gamrot to win this fight. But this is a very good matchup too. I like this one. These are all good, man. The whole card's very fucking excellent, dude. We get to this one here. This is apparently opening the card. Is Francisco Prado versus Christopher Alvidrez. Who the fuck are these people? Nikolay Vetnerov lost 7 months ago. Jake Matthews lost a year ago. Daniel Zellhuber lost 2 years ago. Okay. Ottman. Oh, I remember Ottman. That's fucking funny. And Jimmy Malarkey lost. Huh. Interesting. And he's coming off a Contender Series win. I'm just gonna go Alvidrez, bro. Like, if you're losing to Malarkey at any point in your career, I think you're kind of fucked. And I think you're gonna forever be like on this level of just. Here's a debutant, bro. Fight him. Let's see where he's at. You know, I think Alvidrez probably gets it done here. Yeah, 92% is fucked up. That's kind of disrespectful, but I'll lean that way. This should be interesting. It's a very interesting mentality to their fights now. When you just look at the card on the side here, as we'll get to the last one, but to open the show with, like, you know, kind of like the prospects and then have like a bunch of fucking absolute bangers, like because these most of these fights are main event like worthy. You could like from the level of fucking main events we've been getting recently, bro. You could put some of these fights on in a main event of a fight night. And so then you have your fights that are like literally specifically just for building up hype for new guys. Also, you know, this guy, he's fighting out of Miami, Florida. Oh, both guys are. What the fuck? Oh, well, one's American, so home ground advantage for Christopher Alvidrez. But yeah, it's very interesting, like their philosophy for like building cards in general, especially now in the Paramount era. As we get to our last fight, Kelvin Gastelum versus Vincente Luque is such a fucking funny fight to make, bro. Look at these guys. Look at these fucking dudes, bro. Okay, this is big ol' pick'em here. What do they say first? Gastelum 85%. I see that. You know, Luke is on a 2-fight losing streak. He looked good though. Both guys look good in their losses. I wonder. I truly do wonder. Okay, not this loss. I'm saying like he went to a decision. He did look. He was getting beat up, but like to survive against Joel Alvarez, I kind of rate that. Meanwhile, Kevin Gastelum is still winning fights. Beat Dustin Stoltzfus. That means he's not completely washed. You know, he went to a decision with Joe Pyfer. He's not completely washed. You know, this guy's just fucking climbing the rank. He's about to fight Israel Adesanya, so yeah, I'm gonna have to lean Kevin Gastelum too. I think he can just find a way to pull out this win. I think it'll be kind of a sad fight. I'm not gonna lie. This will be kind of a sad watch. Both guys just trying to give it, like, you know. The thing with Luque though is he's seemingly gonna be a full-time middleweight going forward now, which, you know, means the weight cuts will be less harsh on his body. And Kelvin Gastelum, these weight cuts are already harsh still. You know, I don't know what this guy's walking around at, but oh man, that's right. I forgot he weighed 6 pounds overweight in his last fight. that's interesting. That's what I mean, bro. This is a toss up though. I'll lean Gastelum for now. We'll see again come fight week. But those are my reactions to the card. I'm curious what happened to Kyle Daukaus. I guess he just had to pull up for unwritten reasons, and I'm super sad this fight isn't happening. Oh, it's rescheduled. When is it happening? April 18th? Oh, it's happening in Canada. Wow, that's a good fucking fight, dude. Oh shit, these are all interesting, pretty interesting too. I'm excited for this one. Sorry, anyway, off topic. This is a very great fight card. I'm very excited for it. I guess it was worth the wait. Fucking Dana White forgot his fucking password to his Instagram, bro. This is a great card though. I think we'll see a lot of finishes here. A lot of good it's so weird that they raise the levels of like performances of the night and give these finishing bonuses, and then they make matchups that are just almost guaranteed to see finishes, but I digress. Very good card here. I'm very excited to see how we see the fight when it comes out. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts on this card are, which fights you're most excited for, and if I got any early predictions wrong, you think I'm just fucking losing it because it's really late. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, and yeah, share the video. Give me some hype. Give me some hype points. Help me in the algorithm. And if you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. That's gonna do it for me though. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.